Hey y'all, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Jacqueline and this is Lowcarblish. If you're new here, this is the channel where we make low carb versions of our favorite high carb foods. And today we are making Rica golden pot roast. If any of you guys have heard of the Mississippi pot roast, this is very similar to that, but without all of the pre-packaged gravy packs and the ranch dressing and all of the extra sodium and chemicals that we just don't need. And this one tastes delicious. This is going to be a 2 or 3 part video today because we're cooking this in the crock pot, and so it's going to be a 6-hour cook time. I like to cook mine for about 6 hours on high, but you can totally put this on low and cook it all day if you want to. So I just want to show y'all how easy this is, and you're not going to believe how completely tasty and filling it is when it's done. So I've got about a 2-pound pot roast here that I've had sitting out for about 10 minutes just to let it come up to temp a little bit. And I'm going to turn my crock pot on high. And when I was growing up, we were taught to put roast in the crock pot and put a lot of liquid and stuff in them. I have since learned that is not the way to go. I didn't like pot roast for a long time because the meat kind of tasted bland and it was kind of too chewy for me. This recipe is not like that. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your pot roast, and I highly recommend you use a chuck roast if you can find one. They are a less expensive cut of meat, but they've got really nice fat and marbling in them, so they make a lovely roast. And I'm going to go over what we're putting in it here, but don't worry about the amounts because I'll have all that down in the description as we get going. I have got half of a Poblano pepper here, and if you don't have Poblano or you don't like it, you can substitute bell pepper if you want to. That'll work as well. And also, I forgot to get my hot sauce. Now, this hot sauce is completely optional, but if you like a little extra kick, which I do, hot sauce is a great way to add a little extra kick to it. I also sometimes, instead of the hot sauce, I'll use a serrano pepper, but I thought I had one in the fridge, but I don't, so we're going to go with the hot sauce today. Let's see. I was just checking to make sure I didn't have to take one of those little covers off of it. So what we're going to add in is we're going to put in a tablespoon of parsley, and I've got garlic powder here, and onion powder, and salt and pepper. Missy must be barking at the neighbors. Our neighbor's have a new dog, so she likes to talk to the dog. Okay, so that's it. You just put your spices and your pepper in here. Then you're going to take a half a stick of butter and just lay the stick of butter on top of it. And cover it up and cook it. And that is all there is to getting this thing started. I will say, if you guys, I always buy like a 2-pound roast because I'm single, I'm cooking for me, and I always have so much left over, end up freezing a lot of it. But if you have a bigger crock pot, if you're cooking for a bigger family, just double, like if you do a 4-pound roast instead of a 2-pound, just double the amount of spices that you're going to put in there, and you're going to be great. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I almost forgot a really important part of this. I use 2 tablespoons of dill pickle juice in this. And this helps tenderize the meat even more. The butter does a lot of that, but the pickle juice really helps. And you really can't taste it after the roast is cooked with all the spices and everything and the meat. You really don't taste it, but it does help to soften the meat up and tenderize it. And then I'm going to do about a tablespoon of hot sauce over here. And it comes out very tiny bits, so it'll take me just a minute here. Okay. And now this time I promise this is it. So you just put the lid on it and you're going to cook it for, like I say, if you're on high, about 6 hours. And if you check it in the middle of the process, it's going to feel like this meat is like really tough and it's not getting tenderized and everything. But trust me, somewhere between the 5.5 and 6 hour mark, the magic happens and it's just melting your mouth tender. So I'm gonna go and run some errands today. This has been a crazy week, and I will tell you about it when I get back. But I've got to run a couple of errands, and then when I come back, it'll be time to take this out of the pot, and we'll plate it up, and I'll let you see it and show you just how delicious it really is. So I'll be back in a little while. Bye. Hey y'all, well I'm back. It's been 6 hours. This has been a long but really productive day for me. I got all of my errands run today, and so I'm looking forward to having this roast. Macy's playing with her pig, so if y'all hear little squeaking noises, that's what that is. So our roast is ready, and it smells amazing. And it is fall off the bone tender, even though there's no bone involved. But I'm going to take a little bit of it out and let you guys see. I mean, it's just falling apart. It's so nice and tender, and the flavor is amazing. So I'm going to have a little taste of this, and then I'm going to break away and make my green beans to go with this and have a really good dinner. I wanted to tell you guys, since we missed Motivational Monday, that I was looking through different motivational quotes, and this one really struck me today because of everything that's going on in the world with Ukraine and all of that stuff happening. And I've really been kind of disturbed by all of that that's going on. So this quote really hit me today, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. The quote said, Macy, sweetheart, can you give mommy one break? Just 1 second, okay? 1 second. Thank you. The quote said, anywhere there's a human being, there's an opportunity for kindness. And so my goal this week is to go out and do extra things and be extra kind to people that I see, because I think we're all struggling right now. And, you know, so that just struck me, and just food for thought there. But I mean, you guys look at that. It's just like, I hope you can see it. It's just like falling apart. That is so good. Now, I love it just like this, with just plain with my green beans or a salad or whatever veg you want to put with it. But if you wanted to make a gravy with this, you absolutely could. If you got a gravy separator, that would work great, because the fat from the butter that we put in here will float to the top. A lot of times what I'll do is I have the first meal of it just plain like this, and then I'll put the roast in another container, and then save the drippings from the roast in another container, and skim all the fat off of it the next day, and then just use the flavorful stuff to make a gravy. And what I usually do is just take like a cup to a cup and a half of the drippings, and then I'll put about 1/4 cup of cream in there, about 1/2 teaspoon of glucomannan, and then I just season it to taste. There's so much flavor in the drippings that usually I just need to add maybe a little bit of salt, and that's it. But you may be different. You may want a little more spice or whatever. And you know, of course, just season it the way you would season it. But I've done that several times, and it really is good gravy. So you might want to try that. And the reason that I call this pot roast Villa Rica Golden Pot Roast is because I live in a town called Villa Rica, Georgia. And if you do a little research on that town, you'll find out that we are famous for having a gold mine here. And we still have a gold museum here. And so I got tickled because when I made this recipe, I was like, that's golden. And I think I even commented to Mike, you know, that this is a golden recipe because it's so easy and it's so yummy. And I love things that I can cook in the crock pot and then come home on a day like today and just have dinner ready. So I hope you guys will try this because it really, really is good. You know, there's so many processed foods and things in those packets that they cause inflammation. Some of them are really high in carbs. But this is still really low carb, and it pairs beautifully with anything because you don't have vegetables in the pot roast itself, so you've got free reign on what you want to serve with it. So I hope that you enjoy it. Those of you that are not subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and you will never miss another recipe or quote or whatever fun giveaway we've got going on around here. If you would, hit that like button for me, because it really does help people find my channel that have just been diagnosed. And those of us that have been doing this for a while, we remember what it was like when we first found out we had type 2 and how scary it was. So I appreciate you guys doing that for me. And I've got a treat coming up for you guys this week. There's going to be another video this week, and I think you guys are going to be like over the moon happy with what we're making. I know I was. So that's just a little teaser, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope y'all have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.